You are standing outside on an ordinary morning. The sky is blue, the air is warm. Nothing about today feels dangerous. The sky turned gray and remained that way for 6 years. That is not fiction. That is a real morning that real humans lived through roughly 74,000 years ago. And when it happened, your entire species came closer to disappearing than almost anyone realizes. This is the story of the worst time to be alive in human history. It begins on the island now called Sumatra. Underneath it, pressure had been building for hundreds of thousands of years. Then one day, it let go. The Toba supervolcano erupted with a force so large that modern volcanology has almost nothing to compare it to. Ash fell from the sky like snow, covering South Asia in a thick layer of ash up to 6 inches, and traces of it reached as far as Africa. Imagine that. The eruption was not the worst part. The worst part came after. Sulfur particles flooded the upper atmosphere, wrapping the planet in a haze that blocked sunlight. Global temperatures dropped, with some estimates suggesting a drop of 3 to 5 degrees Celsius worldwide, and far more near the eruption itself. Plants that relied on sunlight and warmth began to fail. You wake up and the sky is the wrong color. Ash coats the leaves you would normally eat. The animals you track have moved or died or are too weak to hunt. Water sources are choked with gray sediment. Your children are hungry and you have no way of knowing when or if the sky will clear. There was no 5-day forecast, no emergency broadcast, just years of cold, hunger, and confusion stretching out with no clear end. Geneticist Stanley Ambrose proposed something startling in the 1990s. He suggested that this eruption pushed the entire human population down to somewhere between 3,000 and 10,000 breeding individuals. Not 10,000 tribes, 10,000 people total, scattered across a freezing, ash-covered world that is smaller than most college campuses today. That is your entire species hanging on by a thread thin enough that a bad decade could have ended everything. This idea is called the Toba catastrophe theory, and it remains debated among scientists. Some researchers, like archaeologist Chris Clarkson, have pointed to sites in India where human tools appear both before and after the ash layer, suggesting people adapted and kept going rather than nearly vanishing. But even the skeptics agree on one thing. This period was brutal. Survival was not guaranteed. And whatever happened, it left a mark. When a population shrinks that dramatically, something happens at the genetic level. Scientists call it a bottleneck. Imagine pouring a huge amount of water through the narrow neck of a bottle. Only a fraction gets through. Whatever genetic diversity existed before gets filtered down to whoever survives. And here is the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Compared to other great apes, humans have remarkably low genetic diversity. Chimpanzees, who never went through anything like this, show more genetic variation within a single group than humans show across the entire planet. Every person alive today, no matter where they were born, carries the genetic signature of a population that came dangerously close to blinking out. You are not just descended from survivors. You are descended from an unusually small, unusually stressed group of survivors who made it through years without a clear sky. Now here's the twist that changes how you should think about this. Crisis like this does not just threaten survival, it reshapes behavior. Anthropologist Richard Wrangham has written extensively about how extreme environmental pressure pushed early humans toward deeper cooperation. When resources become scarce enough, lone survival stops being an option. Groups that shared food, protected each other's children, and cooperated even with weaker or older members outlasted groups that did not. You did not evolve to be ruthlessly individualistic because that trait would have gotten you killed during a volcanic winter. You evolved to notice who shares, who lies, who can be trusted when the stakes are life and death. That instinct did not disappear when the ash settled. It is still running in the background of every relationship you have today. That tightness you feel when someone breaks a promise. That relief when a friend shows up exactly when you needed them. That is not a modern personality quirk. That is a survival system, forged during years when trust could be the difference between eating and starving. The sky did eventually clear. The plants came back. The population slowly rebuilt. But the pressure of that bottleneck left fingerprints in your DNA and in your instincts that are still there right now, whether you have ever heard the word Toba or not. So the next time you feel a flicker of comfort from your closest friendships, or a flash of anxiety, wondering if you can really count on someone, remember where that wiring came from. It was not built in comfortable times. It was built during the worst stretch of years your species has ever survived, when the sky itself turned against you and the only thing standing between humanity and extinction was a small group of people who decided to stick together anyway. You are standing here today because they did. And somewhere inside you, on an ordinary morning with a blue sky and warm air, that ancient instinct is still quietly keeping watch.